Good day, I'm Marjorie Gordon, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, July 26, 2023. A significant milestone that will give Jamaica Customs direct access to Interpol's information systems and strengthen its border protection capabilities. That's how Commissioner of Customs Velma Ricketts-Walker is describing a Memorandum of Understanding signed between the Jamaica Customs Agency and the International Criminal Police Organization, National Central Bureau for Jamaica. Mrs. Ricketts-Walker adds that the ability to access Interpol's systems with information from 195 member states will allow border protection capabilities to be more real-time with faster sharing of information.
Access to these systems will strengthen the Jamaica Customs Agency intelligence and risk-based targeting approach, which is crucial to preventing crimes relating to cross-border trade. This access will provide us with new tools for identifying suspect players or individuals of interest, their associates and associated entities, as well as spotting and preventing the flow of unlawful or criminal activities at Jamaica's borders.
Mrs. Ricketts-Walker says efforts must be ramped up to combat the movement of illicit goods and activities.
As trade increases and become even more digitized, the use of cross-border data is becoming more and more important as a part of trade facilitation process for enhancing border protection. Greater intelligence sharing, a cohesive response to threats, and strict enforcement of laws and cooperation of international partners are key to finalizing and finally overtaking and defeating domestic and transnational crime.
Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson emphasized the importance of this and other MOUs.
Each time we sign one of these MOUs, they're not just a piece of paper. They start to create, to remove the gaps in the security architecture. And these are the gaps that organized crime uses to traverse our systems, traverse our country, traverse our region, and even globally traverse around the world.
An amendment to extend the retirement age for persons serving as the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, and the Auditor General was approved in Parliament yesterday. The retirement age is now 65, up from 60. The Constitution Amendment of Section 96, subsection 1 and 121, subsection 1 was approved without amendments. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck piloted the bill in the House of Representatives.
As is evident, this was due mainly to the fact that the constitutionally established ceiling for the age of retirement for the Auditor General and the Director of Public Prosecutions is actually 5 years shorter in duration when compared to the upper limit set in the Pensions Public Service Act for public officer in the civil service. Madam Speaker, the proposed amendment to the Constitution will allow for the expansion of the term of service from 60 to 65 years, thereby addressing the inconsistency that currently exists between the two pieces of legislation and, by extension, creating a more level playing field for all.
The amendment also allows the Governor General, in appropriate cases, to permit an extension of the retirement age of up to 70 years. Residents and business operators in Treasure Beach, Great Bay, and the surrounding communities in northwest St. Elizabeth will now experience the benefits of better water runoff from the completion of a $41 million drainage project. The 60-meter concrete system will allow for greater runoff of water from heavy rainfall to mitigate flooding. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, welcomed the canal in his capacity as Member of Parliament for the area. The project was done by the National Works Agency in partnership with the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
This is basically the second to last phase of the Treasure Beach Drainage Improvement Program. This is the major work. So now we can rest assured that come this in the hurricane season, hopefully nothing happens, but if something were to happen, that we would have this outlet.
The project included the construction of a concrete base to reinforce the walls and excavation works to remove overgrown shrubs. The work was done over a period of 6 months, and the next phase will finalize interventions to manage the overflow from the Great Pond.
There is a little distance between where we want the overflow to come, right, and where it now is. We would love to have the walls done and the base done for that, but this can serve us for the time being.
Jamaicans are being urged to make a will to prevent family members from fighting over what is colloquially called deadlift. The appeal was made by Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck, who says this will also ease the burden on the Administrator General's Department, AGD. The agency has the responsibility for handling the estates of persons who die without making a will. Minister Chuck says the AGD is managing over $50 billion in property and continues to see increases of between 300 and 500 cases every year.
Nothing creates more violence, grievances, conflicts, and death than deadlift. Across Jamaica, many of the deaths have occurred because of deadlift. People fighting over what they never expect, fighting over what they believe they should get, people fighting over what they think that the deceased person should have left for them.
The Justice Minister says the making of a will ensures a smooth transfer of assets and minimizes conflicts among family members.
The challenge you have, especially with persons who have children, when you don't make a will, the children suffer for many years until the Administrator General can put together whatever is available so that it can be distributed to the children.
Minister Chuck was addressing the AGD's Securing Your Legacy Roadshow held at Sam Sharp Square in Montego Bay over the weekend. A will is a document containing instructions and wishes as to how persons want their estate, property, and assets to be distributed after death. The Students' Loan Bureau, SLB, is increasing its grant in aid program year over year by 68%. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark says last year, the SLB offered 3,000 grants at $50,000 each. This year, it's moving to 4,200 grants at $60,000 each. This means that 1,200 more people will benefit from the program.
This is an incentive for Jamaicans interested in tertiary education to seek out the Student Loan Bureau, because you come and you access one of the Student Loan Bureau's targeted loans, you will automatically, if you are from a household where the income levels are $1.5 million or less, you will automatically receive a free grant, no repayment of $60,000.
Minister Clark says the government is committed to increasing tertiary enrollment in Jamaica, which will enable greater productivity and growth.
What we want to do is to boost the productivity of every individual in the country, and the way we do it is making sure that all individuals can be more productive in themselves.
Dr. Clark was speaking at the launch of the SLB's new loans and grants recently. And finally, Cabinet gave approval for several contracts this week. They include garbage collection and disposal services at 617 public educational institutions island-wide. The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, will undertake this over 3 years at a cost of over $243 million. The update came from Minister with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan, earlier today at the weekly post-Cabinet press briefing.
There was also the award of a contract to Fast Enterprises LLC for the provision of maintenance and production support services for the GenTax Integrated Tax Administration System by Jamaica with customization and site-specific development. And this was approved by Cabinet after going through the processes to the tune of $3.5 million or approximately 560 million Jamaican dollars, excluding GCT.
Another contract was awarded to KPMG Jamaica for external auditing services at the National Health Fund. It's for a period of 3 years and will cost over $90.8 million inclusive of GCT. Also, AA Laki Jamaica Limited has been contracted to supply, deliver, install and commission a 128-slice computerized tomography unit for the Kingston Public Hospital. This is at a cost of $1.6 million or a little over 250 million Jamaican dollars. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Marjorie Gordon. Thank you for watching.